Once Human just had a brand new dev talk. We also have to go over another major update with the game, including some big things that have come to Once Human in the recent days. We have some additional server information as well as some things that are happening behind the scenes, and a whole bunch more. What's up, brothers? Utopia back into the video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so first up, let's get into the dev chat. We'll get into all the information there with that. This was a brand new one labeled SOC Technology, or Survival Open World Crafting and Survival Exploration. So first up here, we do have an opening statement talking about enhancing the game's quality and user experience. And they're going to be trying to refine the exploration or the survival exploration process and aspect of the game. So first up here, the August 15th update addressed a critical bug that caused the automated miner to malfunction when players weren't in their territory. This made mining inefficient and limited to extraction only type of ore. That has now been fixed, and they're also going to be improving the miner's functionality. For question number 2, they have the ciphers availability. They say that players have expressed concerns about the scarcity of ciphers, and to address this, the game will increase the number of ciphers available, aligning them with future scenarios. This change aims to ensure that ciphers are more accessible as players progress. Although with that, you can open up your Mematic's menu and actually unlock certain things. So if you want to do stuff for your housing, you can unlock the entire housing menu. You can then refund it entirely and you'll get your ciphers back and you'll keep all the stuff that you already built. The only thing that you'll lose out there is your energy links. Although I do believe you get a significant portion back. I think it's 70+%. So it's not a huge ordeal there. You do lose a bit of energy links while doing that. But you can unlock it in the Mematic's menu and then reset just that trait or reset the entire tree. That will allow you to get your ciphers back as well as keep the item that you did craft. For question 3, they went over the Mematic specialization complexity. They said the variety of Mematic specializations have been overwhelming for some players. The developers are enhancing guides on the wiki and introducing recommended features to assist new players. Additionally, with memory fragments, that will be introduced in later stages of the game. So if you've seen that new memory fragment menu on the right side of the Mematic's menu, that essentially won't be introduced until later in these stages. That's going to allow for targeted chances at Mematic specializations. They're going to have some more detailed information on that soon, and recipes for that will also be provided. When that does get released, I will update you guys entirely on that and do a whole breakdown of that. For question 4, we have the effectiveness of Sulfur Chemist. The Sulfur Chemist current effectiveness has been evaluated and considered balanced compared to other specialization. To diversify the gameplay, they're going to next introduce some new methods of acquiring acid that do not require this Mematic specialization. So essentially, if you didn't know, if you have this specialization, you can turn sulfur into acid. It's very strong. Whoever gets this has a ton of acid and they can sell it to other players, obviously. Although it's fairly easy to rack up a decent amount of acid through refinery methods as well as just going through the map and using food. That does take some time there, but you should be able to get a couple hundred to 1,000 acid in under an hour-ish. So not too crazy there. You can definitely farm up the acid really fast, especially with refinery teams. But obviously people do feel that the Sulfur Chemist specialization there does provide a lot. Next up here is going to be going over some of the food-related items and issues. So for this question here, they went over refrigeration, recipe inheritance, and food buff display issues. For refrigeration, the freshness for each food is now calculated individually. So now when you stack food items, the freshness will be displayed reflecting the least fresh item. You can also now check the individual freshness by hitting Ctrl X, which can separate the items out. Essentially, if you did stack items with varying freshness there, they were getting degraded quite fast, as it would go off the least one there or be calculated that way. Recipes can now carry over to the next season, and the development team plans to introduce more unique recipes tailored to new seasons and maps. So again, that was not carried over with the previous scenario there, but now recipes will be carried over. And then the food buff display issue, that was fixed on August 15th, where effects consumed foods were not displaying correctly. Players can now hover over the sanity bar to view the effects of all consumed foods, over the hydration to see the effects of all consumed drinks. Again, you weren't really able to see all your buffs there. They went over the fishing revamp system here, where they overhauled that based on player feedback with the August 15th update. They introduced over a dozen new fish species and new fish actions. Although some players have requested the ability to fish while seated, this feature is being considered with enough interest, and the fish tank capacity has been increased to allow up to 8 per fish tank. And now fishing is possible in any body of water in the game, and players are encouraged to report any issues where fishing isn't possible. Also, with the August 15 update, they did address animal breeding. They said that it now features a various and unique range of animals. Obviously, you can tame those after making or meeting those animals for food and water needs. They said that future updates will expand on this feature by introducing a full breeding breeding system for animals. They did go over the fuel refining fix. They did fix an issue where the super refiner was not able to process barrel fuel. That has now been resolved. Any more issues there, they want you to report on that. They went over here that some players have been having issues determining when the solar drill is charging. Future updates will include a clear indicator for charging status, especially when the drill's durability is low. For question 11 here, the Brule barrel spoilage. Feedback has been indicated there where it was spoiling way too quickly, and the developers are considering reducing the spoilage speed and future updates to enhance the brewing experience. Will actually matter a ton because brewing is going to be really nice with the sanity stuff, especially in hard mode. That's definitely going to be utilized a lot. Last question here is the survival pressure. They feel that surviving in the open world has become too easy, and while the difficulty has been reduced since launch to appeal that broader audience, future scenarios might introduce that higher survival difficulty. This could include extreme weather and temperature systems to create a more challenging and engaging environment. So that could be really cool there and really interactive. Moving on from the dev chat though, we do have some in-game news. So we do have a post here talking about the hard difficulty servers and what's been going on there with that. They had some internal discussion around the high demand for more hard difficulty servers. They're going to monitor that and open additional servers as needed. They're going to be opening some servers in advance, and that did happen this morning. That was for EU and NA. And to accommodate a diverse range of players and support server development, they've decided to postpone the launch of a lot of normal difficulty servers. Those were initially planned to launch after August 20th. There is a massive range here of servers that are getting delayed, and those are the normal ones. Those are both for PvE and PvE. I'll include a full list of them down below so you can look at which servers are being delayed. If you have registered for any of those servers, you could choose a different one and they're going to automatically cancel your registration for those that don't do that themselves in the next coming days, especially again for the ones that are launching August 20th. That would have been today. Of course, they said that hard difficulty will remain on its original schedule. We had a major update here where Once Human is actually getting DLSS 3 and Reflex, which are now available since this morning. So if you have any frame rate issues or anything like that, especially Reflex is going to help a ton with latency. But other than that, DLSS 3 might help a few players with graphical issues, although this game is very CPU heavy, so you might not see a major bump in your FPS there, depending on what CPU you have and the bottleneck that you have there. A last minute mentionable here is that Once Human is going to Gamescom. Now we don't know for sure if they're going to show anything off there. More than likely they might just show off a seasonal trailer, as we just had a major update in the new server advances. But it's really good to get more eyes on the game overall, so that's definitely going to help with that there. For Gamescom, that does actually start at 1 p.m. CST, 2 p.m. EST, and 11 a.m. PST. This will probably be the exact same or around the same time as when I launched this video, as recording this audio there's only an hour left. But yeah, I'll try to include the links down below to all the different live streams for Gamescom itself. Overall, it should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and to the next one. Deuces.